Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys how to fold the origami paper to make your very own snowflake. Now I know this is actually considered probably Kirigami, which is cutting origami paper, and it doesn't have to be origami paper. Just to clarify, Kirigami is actually the art of cutting paper. It does not mean when you cut an origami project, because that's like just one cut or two cuts. That doesn't count. This counts. This is Kirigami. This is cutting paper for design purposes, and it's beautiful. And there are so many resources available online of free PDF downloads that you can get for the patterns of how to make your own snowflake. If you need a little assistance, you don't necessarily have to copy them exactly. You can kind of use them as a guide to give you an idea of what you want to do, but really fun. Very, very cool. So all you gotta do is just look for those online, and tons of those pop up. So I'm going to show you guys how to fold this. This is actually a fold that we use in origami sometimes when we're trying to start with a shape like this. So let me just remind you guys of how to do that. The key to using this and making it work well for you is having really good folds and good scissors and patience, because things always shift and move around and it can be really hard to make it go the way you want to go. So let me just show you guys really quick here. I've got a double-sided paper. We're going to start off by folding our paper in half into a big triangle, and then we're going to fold it in half again. And then we're going to go ahead and take it looking like this with the point facing down. We're going to go ahead and wrap each of these around to create like a trifold. So we're going to have one little bit go back and the other behind it as well. We just want to make sure that we're getting it going the right way. So it doesn't matter which one you start with here, but I'm just going to kind of pull over the double-sided one here first. I like to first start by just getting my center set there. You don't need to make the crease up here yet. And then we're going to do the same thing here, get this kind of started. And then you can have more freedom to kind of move these around and pull until they get nice and tight and snug, and you get them as close as you can to each other. And the closer things are, then the better it's going to work when you fold it and cut it later. But once you kind of got it there, then you're just going to make your creases, and you should have something that looks like this. Looking at the side where you can see this crease, you just want to go ahead, cut right along that, and that's going to give you the shape you need to do all the cool patterns that you see online for making these particular snowflakes. So if you use one as a guide, I'm going to be looking at it where I have one crease on one side and then I have two edges on the other. You want to kind of keep that in mind with the directions that they give you, depending on what kind of directions they might have. But it's good to just try to keep everything as together as you can when you make your cuts. And consider what negative space you have too. You know, it's kind of nice to kind of keep that in mind. But I think the hardest part, that one with just the one crease on the edge, is not too bad. But dealing with this part where you have the two, sometimes the side that you're not looking at can creep up, and you might actually not be cutting as much there on that side as you think you are. So kind of keep that in mind as you're doing stuff. And like I said, it helps to have good scissors and a little bit of patience to get stuff good there. But I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just kind of following something that I found, trying to kind of use that as a guide here. But like I said, there's a ton of them, and God, you know, some of them are so beautiful, and I think, oh, I'd love to be able to try to do that, but I do not have the patience. I'm like way too worried. I'm going to go ahead and go out like from this one here. It keeps going off my tip for me. Hold on. You can kind of see how things shifted there a little bit. I'm going to kind of come down from here. Like I said, there's no real like definite yes or no way to doing this. It's just whatever you like. Ah, my piece is falling behind me. You don't want to do that. Accidentally cut off stuff, right? But you certainly, if you happen to have one of those, you know, cutting printer thingies, what are those things called? Cameo. I have one of them. use one of those and you'll get a really cool result too. So but if you've kind of followed along with that, and then you just gently unfold, there's always the section where you've made the cut where the paper kind of pinches together and sticks to itself. So if you've done a really complex piece especially, you want to really take your time to slowly take everything apart, because otherwise any delicate places that you've cut will not work right. So you wind up getting something like this, a little different each time. I kind of used the same pattern as a base. I didn't really copy directly. I kind of used it as a guide though, and you know, got very different results. So it's kind of a fun way to do things for sure. Now, if you are looking at trying to make something with a younger kid, there is a slightly different way that you can do stuff where you don't have nearly as much to cut. I think it's a little more kid friendly, and you know, they're going to do whatever they want with it to make kind of funny shapes. So, but it's a little easier to handle. What we do in this case is we actually fold our paper to make a hexagon, and then you can kind of cut from there. So just starting here by folding it in half again, that part's the same, but we're actually going to be looking and down here this time, just like this is still the center, but we're using the middle of this triangle. So to find where the middle is, I'm just going to mark it by folding in half, pinching a little so that I mark where my center is. And I'm going to do the same kind of process here. I'm going to roll my paper over, but it's going to be a lot easier because I'm not, you know, I'm not actually having to get it all the way with the other extra fold there. And this can be just such an easier way to do things then. So get that kind of folded over, and then you just kind of cut from one point to the other to give yourself a side. And you can even start off with these to give to little kids and already have the folding done, and then they can just go crazy cutting. And then they just cut either of these sides any way you like, right? And kind of see what you get with it. I mean, really young kids can do this, and it's not that hard to cut. The paper is not nearly as much. You don't have as much to work with there, and it can be a lot easier. And then when you open it up, you get something like this. So, you know, it can be kind of a fun thing, but certainly you can't get as like intricate of a design. And the idea of a snowflake, which is that, you know, you have 6 sides that are the same. This is the ideal way to fold. But if you want to make it simpler for kids, you still get 6 points, but they're not identical, then you can use this fold, and it creates a little easier environment for young hands. So those are some ways that you can kind of use origami and kirigami, or paper cutting crafts, to make really fun projects for Christmas and the holiday season. If you're on the right side of the earth where there's just cold weather and snow, then it's perfect for that too. Or if you want to just have that feeling, if you like the motifs of snowflakes, lots of fun reasons for it. So I'll have some more fun things to share with you guys in the days to come. Thanks again always so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.